So here we are, another edition of 5 Minute Football here with Brendon. So you're not very keen on the football these days so much now, are you?
Well, I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, yeah, and football then was a totally different experience, do you know what I mean? But I'm afraid, for me, I want it back.
Yeah, you got to get it back.
Well, I want
back?
a retro football channel. I want everyone to just tell me how many people would watch a retro football channel where you got three geezers talking about football. No disrespect to the ladies, but let's just have a non-lady channel with all the boys talking about football. So it's like a proper football day with your mates. Yeah, it's retro football channel. That's how it was. All male commentators. Yeah, I'm not.
You don't want
knocking
Alex
them.
Scott. You don't want Alex Scott in there.
Listen, I have never watched any game. Yeah, with any of them players. So when they tell me about what they've done or their careers or anything, I can't relate to it. I've never watched a women's game of football. I watched 10 minutes of the European Championships when they won it. Yeah, and in fairness, they only beat birds. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like they really won it, right? Not like England geezers who won the World Cup in '66. They beat men. Do you know what I mean? They've only beaten another bunch of women.
But do you not think that the women's games now become really good? Do you think it's the business?
It's still a bit Sunday football, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's still a bit Sunday. It's a bit Sunday morning in the park football. You know what I mean? It's a bit Hackney Marshes. I know they got stadiums and they're all like dressed up and all that, but they ain't.
Don't you think you're maybe a bit old-fashioned now, Brendon?
I am old-fashioned, and I'm quite happy to be old-fashioned. I want to be old-fashioned. Yeah. If I wanted to go and watch women's football, I'd have watched it 20 years ago. Yeah, but I don't. I'm not knocking them. I'm saying for the people of the new generation who like it, that's great. But you've got to cater for us older people who didn't have that experience and too old for it now and don't want it.
So who do you want on your panel then? Who's going to be your three on your panel if you could pick?
Oh, well, listen, I know they're dead now, but Saint and Greavesy was my heroes. Yes, do you know what I mean? I used to love a bit of Brian Clough and Jack Charlton.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Proper
the big match.
The big match. You had the big match on a Sunday afternoon with Brian Moore.
Absolutely.
And I mean,
David Coleman, I used to
David Coleman. You got Tony Curran, Barry Davis.
Yes.
John Motson.
Yeah.
Proper football. I mean, tell me this, right? In 20 years' time, who is going to ever remember what a woman commentator has said? Right,
yeah,
20 years.
Yeah.
I can go back now through the 60s and 70s, and I could pick up 6 or 7 quotes from David Coleman. 1-0, David Coleman.
1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Motson, just look at his face.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Brian,
was that Barry Davis who did
Barry Davis.
Barry Davis. That one,
Brian Moore, it's up for grabs now when Arsenal won the title with Nicky Thomas. So, are we ever going to have a female voice that instills that into you? In a way, we've got to accept that it's not right in today's world.
Yes.
But it's right for the world that we lived in.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah? And we're still living in that world. We don't want to be part of this new world. Do you know what I mean? I'm quite happy how it was. You know what I mean?
Do you miss all of them hard men? You know, the
real football
Ron Harris's,
men, the Chopper Harris, the Tommy Smiths.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? The Jimmy Cases,
Norman Hunter,
Billy Bremner, Colin Todd.
Oh yeah.
You know, like these were genuine footballers who proper had fights. I mean, Kevin Keegan and Billy Bremner had a brilliant fight at Charity Shield.
What about the Francis Lee? Didn't he use
Francis Lee? He was another good. He could have took up boxing. The football now, when you look at some of the bookings, when you see that the players rolling about, and when you see the replay, they've not been touched.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I don't like about the modern game. Them old style footballers never got each other booked.
No.
Stuart Pearce, if he broke his ankle, he got up and carried on playing.
Absolutely.
And he would wait to get a chance to kick the geezer back.
So you don't see yourself going down to Charlton Ladies and watching that and just, re-educating yourself, becoming a man of the future?
No. In a word, absolutely not. No, I'll stay a man of the past.
Bring back retro football.
Retro football. That's what I want to campaign for, a retro football channel. I think we should do a quick list of questions. Who was your favourite commentator?
Yes.
Who was your favourite hard man you know, between the 70s and the 90s, because you still had some good ones in the 90s. Do you know what I mean?
absolutely.
And so, who was your football personalities as you grew up?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and who was your best panelists?
Clough, Derek Dugan.
Ron, what was it? Big Ron Atkinson.
Oh yeah, he was great. Wasn't
You know, he had one slip up,
that was it.
but he was good, Ron.
He
Do
was
you know what I
good.
mean? He was
Bring
a good.
him back. Bring back Ron Atkinson.
Bring back Ron. You know what I mean?
Yeah.